So I'm picking back up where we left off with the Myers-Briggs videos, and let's see here. We're doing the Sentinels now, so this is probably the group I know the least about. I'm surrounded by a lot of intuitives. Obviously, being into astrology and stuff like that is very predictive stuff, and so Sentinels, the S's, the sensors, I don't necessarily find a lot of in my life or readily get along with super well. Um, so there's more of a struggle. Another S word, but they are extremely common. I think the ISTJ is actually the most common type of Myers-Briggs personality. So the most common personality type. So this is one that's very important, obviously. They should have some very, very familiar themes for a lot of people that you guys know. And if you know any ISTJs, obviously this will apply to them. So let's dig in here. I want to give these a good shuffle after Scorpio season. I've been doing a lot of reading myself because it's just been lots of big change. So good stuff, but I've needed some extra reassurances that I'm headed in the right direction. So trying not to pull so much for myself, but sometimes you just can't resist, you know? So ISTJs. So introverts, obviously. S's, the Sentinels. So these are sensors. The Sentinels is the actual group of SJ personalities. Yeah. So, but that is the most common personality type found is the SJ combination. Whether it's an ISTJ, an ESTJ, I think maybe the second, or the ISFJ. And then there is the E. Which one am I missing, guys? ESFJ, obviously, yes. Okay. Huh. So, ISTJ, you guys are quite blessed. This may refer to the amount of you in the population. You know what I mean? Like, it's very bountiful. There are quite a bit of you. And I think we're kind of lucky to have you guys because you're very dedicated. The one that I've met in my life that stands out, I'm sure I've met more than that, but the one that stands out and actually came to me as an ISTJ, like he had actually self-identified as one, really, really was just super dedicated at work. He was just so diligent, and he like, I don't know, it just didn't seem like he had a mean bone in his body, and he was always willing to help others, sometimes even seeking to help others, and yeah, he was just like a really, really stand-up guy in that respect. You know, like some great integrity in the workplace, and so that's one of your guys's like key features. Excuse me. Is that you are hard workers, and you're very logical and methodical, and the S's almost. I don't know why I keep associating the S's with words that begin with S, but S could stand for stability, right? Because that's kind of what it is almost, is like intuitives kind of bounce around in their lives and in their minds. They kind of like just kind of dart all over the place. And that's probably how you guys see us. If you're an ISTJ or Sentinel watching this, it's hard for you to make sense of the intuitives because you're just like, how did you get from there to there? You know what I mean? Like, there's just no order to it. There's no like transition. It's just like, boop. It's kind of like a rabbit, like with their spurts of energy. Um, you'll just be petting them, and then all of a sudden, like their legs like leap forth, and then they're just doing little laps around the house or something, and it just came out of nowhere. There was nothing that brought it on. That's kind of like an intuitive mind or a lifestyle. It's just like springs to life all of a sudden. And S's are very, very stable. I would associate them more so with like maybe farm animals, like a very like pastoral way of living. and it's very, very slow movement, but it's very productive, and it's essential to life because almost every animal on a farm serves like an intrinsic function towards maintaining that farm or maintaining crops or being harvested or butchered or whatever to feed other people. So it's like necessary. So that's what I would really associate probably the sentinel group as, is almost like farm animals in a way, and that's not at all demeaning. I was just kind of like the analogy that just transpired as I was talking. But you guys are essential. So there's that. So Ace of Cups. So you feel very blessed. Maybe this is why you guys are so nice, is because you truly feel like you're lucky to be alive. Like you've got a great life. You really maybe have a glass half full perspective, and that's great. We all need that. And yeah, so you just feel lucky. You're very fertile. Maybe there's a lot of female ISTJs, because this is usually the card we can see with pregnancy and childbirth, because it's like the bird or like the stork bringing the present. You know what I mean? Like with the baby. And this is like coming out of nowhere. So you guys may have some very lucky, some chances of luck in your life where things just kind of happen. They take care of themselves, or you're offered that thing right when you need it, and it saves you. You know what I mean? And I think overall it's because you guys are decent human beings, and so it's karma, right? It's all karmic. So water signs. So you're maybe emotion isn't something that like readily comes from an internal source. Maybe it's something that is brought on by a situation or an experience or something like that. But I feel like the emotion is very light. It's more enjoyable emotion as it is dark, you know what I mean? Like deeper, kind of like water sign emotion, you know what I mean? Where it has like kind of levels that it goes through. Anyways, so Three of Wands reverse, second card. So, you guys, as blessed as you feel, you are always looking for something else. You're always looking on what you've accomplished, and it never seems to be enough when it's upright. You know what I mean? You're never fulfilled. You're never really truly able to enjoy the hard work and the awards or the recognition that it's brought you. You're just keep charging forward, kind of a thing. And so, lots of expansive moves in the career, and fire is the self. So you guys are always looking to change, or maybe you're always looking to accomplish more. You know what I mean? I think that's more so an S mentality, is not necessarily change, but it's kind of getting more, earning more, things like that. It's kind of like going places. So yeah. So Three of Wands, again, not off to a bad start, not at all. Oh, this one, okay. So this was on the bottom, and it just kind of separated itself. So Page of Swords. So you guys are very idealistic AF, and I do think this again ties into this very optimistic kind of persona. Whereas maybe you feel like, yes, there's always more that you could do, but I think overall, you feel pretty lucky to have come to where you are. You know what I mean? If you didn't get there fully yourself, you certainly did work hard once you were there. You know what I mean? Um, so maybe you find yourself in these instances where you know what I mean? But this is Page of Swords is kind of like the new train of thought. This is kind of like the mind can be like an escape. You know what I mean? It can be an escape. It could be a voyage. It could be somewhere where you go and maybe you guys are very independent. Maybe that's what it is. And could be a little creative, but Page of Swords can either mean that um, your mind is a very um, reticent like source of information and creativity, and there's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers. There's a plethora of knowledge, and I think that you guys being so logical, people do go to you for facts, and obviously because you're so hardworking and all that. So people do put you on that kind of responsible pedestal, in a way. Where I think sometimes you guys actually do, you would prefer like less. You know what I mean? Because a page and a knight, they're similar in this aspect, is that they're always on the search for something. And here it's intellect. Here it's higher thinking. Here it's uh, it's of the mind. So you guys are always looking to expand your mind in a way, a new study, a new approach, things like that. So even for Sentinels, you guys are expansive in a way. You know what I mean? Because usually Sentinels are very slow moving, slow changing, because they prescribe to already structured laws and things that a society has built, and they kind of navigate that. Whereas the intuitives, they don't really hold themselves to those kind of standards. Not to say that they're all lawbreakers, but um, they're a little more free thinking, and so they don't really. It's for mass society, you guys are a little more normal, a little more, but not to say that you guys can't be creative, and not to say that you guys can't be progressive, because it definitely looks like you can be. And I just think that, like, probably academia is a big thing for you guys, because that's one of the easiest ways to explore different studies and fields of interest. We could see a lot of scientists with ISTJs, or even historians. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of any direction you guys want to go, but um, definitely fascinated with learning. So here, though, we do have a more somber note here. So we have the Eight of Cups reversed. So the Eight of Cups reversed, when it comes to saying your goodbyes, you guys just really, really don't want to. Maybe you don't ever know how to leave situations. Maybe that's why we're getting these two reversed here, because they're similar in a way, in that they're both they've gotten this far, and now there's kind of the need or the urge for more, and there's the need to leave what's present. You know what I mean? So it's like you guys aren't really if you are open to travel, or you know what I mean, or moving, like as a moving a place, it seems like it's pretty hard for you to go about that process. Maybe you stay in one place longer than you would like, because you find moving and letting go and leaving people very challenging. Um, and it's probably because you guys are so committed and so subservient, almost. You know what I mean? Like you really just want to be there for people as often as possible, and that's not possible if you physically leave them. Um, but people understand. I mean, especially if they're people that truly care about you and know how far you want to go to feel like you've kind of like opened every door and unlocked every crevice of knowledge that's out there for you. They'll understand that requires movement from you, and they won't hold it against you. And so I think you guys need to get that out of your head, and don't make it as harder than it needs to be. You know what I mean? To where you run away, and you don't even say goodbye, because the thought of it is just so difficult, and then that ends up hurting people, because you know what I mean, you didn't leave the right way. Um, Anyways, so Eight of Swords, so another eight here. Um, This one is more. This is all pretty self-inflicted. I don't think there's not a lot of other people in your life. You guys may be very solitary individuals, or we are introverted, ISTJ. Um, and the judging group also is a little more selective. So with the people in your life, there's probably not a lot, but they are people that you truly care about, and vice versa. You know what I mean? You're not just kind of everyone's friend. It's specific. So I can say that as an INFJ because I definitely agree with that. But Eight of Swords is again. I mean, this can tie into the holding yourself back. So you guys have um, a lot of trajectory, but it's really telling yourself that you can go further. That the aspirations that happen inside of your mind um, are there for a reason because it's within you to to traverse. You know what I mean? Like the unknown, to go exploring. And I think it's because you guys can't drop the feeling that like you feel so lucky or so blessed or that you should be thankful for everything all the time that you can't live your own personal journey sometimes because maybe you're just like, well, you know, other people always have it harder or someone's always got it worse or something like that. And but it's okay. It's okay to like do your own thing and be independent and be not selfish, but self aware and self fulfilling. You know what I mean? So people won't see it as selfish. Trust me. If you're doing the right thing, that's truly what you should be doing with your life. People will understand. Um, and there is a an emotional um, level to the mind where we run ourselves ragged even in the home life. So we bring the stress home. We don't know how to escape from stress. It constantly follows us. It's kind of like, you know what I mean, like the stalker in like a horror film or something. Like it's like that figure cloaked in black is like always, which is a part of us, and it's in the recesses of our mind, and it's always like our shadow, that we just can't get away from, you know um, and it really really overwhelms you guys, and it really really burdens you guys. So this is pretty unhealthy stuff. This one I'm really not surprised by, because the biggest thing for the ISTJ is we see this a lot with Hermione's character is taking on more than you need to. This is the burden card when it's reversed. And so, I mean, even upright, it's still like not as great as it looks because look how much it's weighing you down. And like I've said before, I don't know which video it was, but for wands and swords, we want to see less. Less is more, because the more swords you have, the more battles you have. The more wands you have, the more responsibilities you have, and so it's just like it gets to be too much. Now with like water and pentacles, the more bountiful and the more blessed. So that is the reverse of fire and air. So they work differently. Um, but yeah, here it's just like, you just don't know how to say no to people, and you just don't know how to let it go. You bring it home with you to where it probably does affect your home life. If we're talking about family or loved ones, um, you don't know how to drop the stress or the weight, and you always bite off more than you can chew, and and that's great that you want to be helpful and everything, but you have to put yourself first. And that's why there's this kind of pattern here where you're holding yourself back because you don't know how to put yourself first. You know what I mean? So, I mean, learn from the ESTJ that comes, in the same group as you. They're very, very ambitious, kind of ruthless to a degree. Um, but you know what I mean? So it's like you guys are the hard workers in the background, making sure everything gets done, making sure other people's tasks get done because God knows they're not going to do them. But sometimes it's you just have to let those things happen to those people because they are lessons. They're happening for a reason. And if people aren't taking care of their own situations, that's not your problem. Okay? That's not your problem. That's theirs. And the more you take on their problems, especially when it's unwarranted, when it's not even asked of you, um, the more distance you're putting in from that being solved or being fixed or being taken care of. Because it's like if you keep doing their work, not only are you putting more on your own plate, you are taking away their opportunity for their kind of like spiritual journey. Like they need to be shown that, oh, you need to be held accountable for these things, or like, oh, you're struggling here, we need to take care of that. So I know it seems like the simple answer would be just to help the person all the time and do it, but it's not always the right answer. um, Sometimes you have to let people fail, and it's like tough love, but ultimately it's a test that they have to take, not you. So I think that's just a lesson you guys need to hear. So these came out together. So we do have the, obviously with every sign, there's not one sign that doesn't have love, but we have here the love that is very devoted. You guys are so devotional, not only to other people in your life, but in love as well. So maybe we see some Tauruses out there with the ISTJ personality. Personally, I typed the ESTP personality to Taurus when I was doing the 12 signs, but you get a mix of everything, right? So, and here, yes, like that devoted lover that's just really fully there for you, and that's what you guys are. And here we see a Knight of Cups. So, it's, I think in this case, it's describing you guys, and you guys are always offering that to other people. Maybe you guys are professors, you're teachers. Like I said earlier, we're looking for higher learning. Um, University is a big thing for you guys with this kind of stuff, because you're just looking to expand the mind again and again. And maybe some of you have found that in a spiritual sense. Maybe work in some religious or philosophical. Here, I would think with the ISTJ, I think we would see them more so in an academic environment. Being a thinker and not a feeler, um, as one of the dominant functions, and also a judger too. But I digress. But yeah, this is you guys kind of provide counsel for other people. They see you as kind of a wise person to go to for answers, and you're in the public eye. So you may be on a committee or in a chair, or like I said, I feel like the most readily position would be a teacher, where people go to ask to you, and like the Hierophant is different from the High Priestess in that the High Priestess is um, something that happens on a smaller scale and it's more intimate. The Hierophant is more of a political or a public figure. You know what I mean? So you're in the spotlight. Maybe you're really involved in your community. Maybe you're in your SGA at school or something like that. So, but very diligent, very hardworking. It's funny, you wouldn't think of an I as a people person, but I feel like you guys definitely have the potential to be quite charming. Knight of Cups, Hierophant, very charming. Even Page of Swords to a degree. I think all the pages are, little balls of energy, a little fun. Okay, so, although when it comes to leadership, that's where we hit a snag here. So King of Wands is kind of like the leader. You know what I mean? King of Fire. Fire is leadership, and King is leadership, obviously, too. The Emperor is more of like the huge authority, whereas this could be a leader on a small scale, but when it comes to being a leader, being in that public eye or whatever, it's a little harder. It's not like easy water for you guys to traverse because I think you guys like to be behind the scenes getting tasks done, and it's hard to do that when you're on this platform. You know what I mean? It's because everything you do is just getting more and more attention, and so people are distracting you. People are again, putting all these responsibilities on you, whereas you'd like to be that diligent, like sideline worker or backstage worker, and so this is a role that I think people will probably try to put you in. And if you do fall into it, you're probably going to find that it's not super comfortable or very um, fitting for your personality type. And so we get a little authoritative, we get a little bossy. It's just, it almost like keeps you from moving forward with your purpose when you're in leadership. It's almost like a detour. So I think you guys kind of need a little more freedom. And even though we're talking about fire or wand energy here, a leadership role sometimes can be the opposite of that. You know what I mean? Because you have to be super careful, and everything you do has like a immediate cause and effect. You know what I mean? Because it's out there in the open. It's everyone's seeing it. So I think that's probably something that you guys aren't quite as comfortable with. And this could even talk about like father issues too, like daddy issues. If there's some stuff like that as you were growing up, or like home life. Um, yeah, so father might be a little estranged, not be in the picture, or there's just not a great relationship there. If there is one, it's a little harder to handle. Maybe he's pretty tough. So it's funny, you guys have like a lot of like really decent cards here. Ten of Pentacles, ooh, don't we love that? And this is what I was talking about, right? Like with the water and Pentacles, the Cups and Pentacles, we want to see more. And this is as much as you can get, man. So you guys can really, really earn a lot in your lifetime. Um, you know, if we're talking about Taurus, obviously Taurus represents money and possessions. So look at your second house, see what's in there. Um, but Ten of Pentacles, ooh, that's nice. See, I love some of that because that's something I really struggle with. All fire and air energy here. So, but not with you guys. So that's awesome. Ooh, okay. And then we do not really know how to. Okay, so I'm seeing like cards like with the same kind of messages here. And this is a friendship card, so it could be a struggle for you guys making friends. Maybe because you guys are so private and everything, it's harder to get out there and meet people, which I get that. And you guys just like don't like that limelight. You know what I mean? Like you just don't like the attention, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it looks like it does kind of hinder you from enjoying things a lot because you don't have like those people that can readily be there on the same level with you. Just like here, you can't enjoy what you've earned. There's always more to earn. Even though you guys got Ten of Pentacles, so I don't see that. I feel like you guys are really doing well, but you can just be very, very hard on yourself. And when it comes to celebrating, you guys may not be able to, what's the term, hold your liquor well, and that's okay too, you know what I mean? But at least try to relax, try to be social. We're not saying that you have to be like the belle of the ball, you know what I mean, or like that guy. So, but just do it on your own way. That's what alcohol is for. It loosens everyone up. So when it comes to parties and events and things like that, just don't overdo it. Just find that right amount to like make you a little more zen or not so focused on doing things, task oriented things. just make it a little more enjoyable and try to enjoy everything you've earned because you guys have worked so hard. You're not doing yourselves justice here, okay? Stop being so hard on yourselves. And I think maybe friendship could really do that unless we have friends that aren't really supportive of us, and that actually bring out our emotions in a negative way. So if you have friends that constantly are taking advantage of you or just aren't very encouraging personalities, I would really try to analyze that, and see if maybe there's other options out there because you want the best people with you on this journey, right? Don't sell yourself short. Not when you can have this. Nope. So, Queen of Pentacles. Oh gosh, so much Earth energy, you guys. I love it though. It's very stable. Um, so lots of female Earth energy, Earth signs, and male fire signs or Taurus. You're kind of all over the place in that sense, but I think we'd see Earth energy here the most, male or female. Um, and this is just, yes, success makes you guys happy. Yes, that is kind of what you hold on to for stability, career, finances, security. Very slow moving energy here. But it's very stable, it's very precise, and it's very nurturing too. You guys can be very um, uh, very caring people. Obviously, we see that, but in the sense of like maternally caring. So maybe you guys even find yourselves in a position where you provide for other people because you're so stable financially, materially. Maybe you have people that live with you. Or what I mean, like you give a lot back to charity, things like that. There's some sense of mothering here, but in a material way. So looks like you share a lot, or you like to give a lot, whether it's gifts or money, whatever. So yeah, but yeah, you take care of people for sure. And maybe there's just a female at work that's always got your back, that kind of gives you that maternal sense that you need, or that you know what I mean. Because if friendship is lacking, maybe there are more like adult figures in your life that kind of like make you feel the love or the care. So and then the last card, we'll end on this one. It's a good card, not necessarily reverse, but still okay. This is the victory card. So you won the battle, you came out on top, you achieved your life's purpose, or what you were intending to do. And again, you guys are going to find yourself in the political eye. I don't know what this is because you guys don't like that, but you again, it's just some test. I think it's like the universe is trying to see how much of it you can handle because you guys are worth that. And you just really, really don't like being acknowledged or admired in a big way like that. You're very shy in that sense. You don't like the recognition. But I just think it's because you guys are doing so much good and you're just so dedicated and so loyal and so humble. That this can happen a lot, but you're not open to it, you know what I mean? So don't don't hold yourself back because of that. Learn how to cope with it, because it will come up again and again because you are who you are, you know what I mean? And I really like this. I really like ISTJ energy here. I really like the cards that were drawn, and this kind of gives me more insight into the Sentinel group because it is the group I understand the least, um, or know the fewest. So, but yeah, so don't keep yourself from achieving victory. Um, really feel that you deserve this. That you feel like you deserve the recognition, the award, the trophies. Be proud of the acknowledgement of your success and your hard labor and all that. So, don't be too self-deprecating. Um, you know what I mean? Like, try different ways of like saying to yourself in the mirror something like I deserve this, or you know what I mean, like role playing, like if you're going to win something, like how you would like acceptance speeches and things. So but yeah, pretty good, pretty zen right now in this reading. So um, some cool stuff, like nothing really harsh or negative. I just think that you guys stand in your own way, and really, really analyze your friendships if you have any hangups there. So, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'm glad I'm back to this. I know I took a break between the Scorpio readings, I just couldn't get everything done in time. So, but yeah, just keep watching, and if you guys want to look at some of the other Sentinels that'll be coming up soon, or delve into some of the other 16 personalities, please feel free. I have the majority of them up now. So, anyways, you guys take care and leave me any feedback, any comments. Reach out to me if you want a personalized reading. We can do those now. I'm very excited about that. I've done a few already, and I'm loving it, and people are loving it, and it just kind of helps me bridge that gap of like clearing things up if you need a little more insight as to one card, or if it keeps coming up again and again for you and you can't figure out why. That's what they're there for. So hit me up, and stay tuned for more.